What classic hero should show up next on Supergirl? This week was Supergirl's big season 2 premiere, and it finally debuted its take on Superman. And we've also got word that the classic hero Guardian isn't far behind. So I asked myself, what heroes would I like to see show up next? And I thought I'd share that list with you. First up is an obvious choice, the Legion of Superheroes. This is a group of young superheroes inspired by the exploits of a young Clark Kent, usually in the guise of Superboy. It depends on the continuity. The only other character I can think of that has had as many exploits with the Legion of Superheroes as Superman has is Supergirl. In fact, she shared a comic with them for a while. One of her most storied romances is with Brainiac 5, a member of the Legion and also part of the lineage of, you guessed it, Brainiac. This is a good Brainiac, not an evil one, obviously. This team has even been hinted at a little bit in Supergirl, in Superman's Fortress of Solitude, where he has a Legion flight ring, implying that he's hung out with the Legion in this continuity. So it's really not a stretch to have him show up. They've also been referenced in Flash, who, as you may know, does time travel. So maybe we could have Kara and Barry team up in the future with the Legion, which would be amazing. The next character I'd love to see is one that was also hinted at in Supergirl, the crazy intergalactic bounty hunter Lobo. Lobo basically embodies the excess of 90s comics. He's a big, muscly, bad-mouthed behemoth that takes no prisoners. It'd be cool to see such a rough around the edges personality brush up against Kara. She would hate him. Recently in the New 52, Lobo has kind of had a revamp to make him look a little bit sleeker and sexier, if that word even applies to Lobo. It was kind of pointless, but it actually might work on Supergirl to create kind of like a bad boy love interest for her. I mean, we've all fallen for people that are just wrong for us, and who would be more wrong for Kara than Lobo? Either version of the character could create some really cool interactions, and I'd love to see it. Ooh, next is a big one for me. What about if they introduced Hal Jordan and the Green Lanterns on Supergirl? Of the CW superhero shows, Supergirl is the one that deals with aliens. So that puts her in closer proximity to the Green Lantern world. Now, on the one hand, I'd love to see her interact with Hal Jordan just because I'd love to see Hal Jordan in that universe so he could hang out with Oliver and Barry. But I think a younger, less experienced Green Lantern could generate better stories. Maybe my personal favorite, Kyle Rayner, or the new female Green Lantern, Jessica Cruz. This wouldn't be the first time a Superman show introduced a Green Lantern. The animated version of Kyle Rayner was introduced on Superman the Animated Series. Honestly, I think there's a scenario where I could have my cake and eat it too. You start with either Kyle or Jessica finding their ring, learning how they use their powers, running into Supergirl, and that's where Superman and Martian Manhunter reveal that there already is a Green Lantern of Earth named Hal Jordan. Superman could go up to Oa to investigate, while Supergirl's stuck helping the new Green Lantern learn how to use her powers. Then maybe in the big multi-show crossover that they do every year, they could find out that Hal Jordan's been on Earth powerless this whole time, and he could team up with Barry and Ollie to stop whatever the big bad is, while Kara sticks with the new recruit. Who would that big bad be? I don't know, make it the Red Lanterns. That would be cool. And then you could please the fanboys and have Kara get a red ring for a minute. That's personally not my favorite Supergirl storyline, but hey, give the kids what they want. Another great addition would be Orion and the other New Gods. Now, the New Gods have also been hinted at a little bit with references to the Dark Side Club, which in some versions of the comics was run by, you guessed it, Darkseid. The New Gods were created by comic legend Jack Kirby, and they're these epic space sci-fi deities. They're like a cross between classic superheroes and old school mythology. They're really amazing and weird at the same time. My personal favorite is Orion. I would love to see him in live action, period, but there's a lot of cool New Gods characters that would really fit into Supergirl. You've got Mr. Miracle and Big Barda, which would be amazing to see interact with Kara. You got the Female Furies, which would be really good antagonists. In fact, Supergirl's debut on Superman the Animated Series was fighting the Female Furies, and of course, you've got the holy grail of the New Gods, which is Darkseid, which I don't know if we would see on the show, but how amazing would that be? Orion in particular would be cool to see because like Lobo, he's another rough around the edges character. He's the son of Darkseid, but he's not nearly as vile as Lobo, but it would still be cool to see him and Kara butt heads, like he did with Wonder Woman and Brian Azzarello and Cliff Chang's amazing New 52 run. Finally, I think the coolest characters we could hope to see on Supergirl would be Batgirl or Wonder Girl. Hell, make it both. I'd love to see the super best friends forever in live action on TV. Now, I'm specifically thinking of the Barbara Gordon version of Batgirl and the Donna Troy version of Wonder Girl, but any incarnation of those characters could work, and it'd be cool to see them bounce off of each other. Supergirl is such an interesting distillation of not only that character from the comics, but as an extension of Superman. It puts an interesting twist on the Superman mythos, and it'd be cool to see what they could do with Batgirl and Wonder Girl as extensions of their mentors. Seeing those three characters together would be a cool new take on the classic DC Trinity, because even though they represent Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman, they don't behave like those characters, and they wouldn't interact that way with each other. Now, there were rumors over the summer that we would see Batwoman and Oracle on Supergirl, and that would be amazing too. Just get these cool female characters on Supergirl. I'd love to see her brush up with these other iconic worlds. Now, as I've said this list, I've thought of a million other characters that would be super cool to see. Steel, Lana Lang, Lex Luthor, of course, Mr. Mxyzptlk, one of my favorite Superman villains. There are so many cool characters in the Superman universe that Supergirl could use, and now with the inclusion of Superman and Guardian and so many cool characters last season, it really feels like Supergirl is open to really exploring the deeper vault of Superman and DC characters, and I'm super excited to see that. I'd love to see some of these characters show up in season 2 and beyond. Now, what about you at home? What characters would you like to see show up on Supergirl? Supergirl. If you want to know more of my thoughts on the season 2 premiere or the Legends of Tomorrow premiere, please check out my podcast with Sam Basher, Only Stupid Answers. We are on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Audio Boom, so many platforms. You can find us on Twitter at Only Stupid Answers. Take out the vowels from stupid for more. That's it for me. Have a great weekend.